Yeah, what do you when you have a chance to work with the younger guys now? You've got a lot of war stories. What's the from all of that, from all the things you've been through? What's the wisdom from it all that you can share with guys that are trying to make it to the level you did?
Oh well, the wisdom is something that I live by, and I live by to this day. It's work ethic. It's belief in who you are as an individual. Try to separate yourself, make yourself different than other players. And if I give you some advice, don't ask anybody else.
That's true, guys.
That's the bottom line. Young guys that ask me for something, and an hour later asking one of their buddies if I gave them information, that's the last time they get it from me.
Yeah.
If I tell them something, they better put it in the bank.
And for those that haven't seen AJ wrestle, literally, one of the biggest stars in the game going on today, you need to check him out Sunday at TNA Lockdown. So far in your experiences, I mean, you've done a lot of things in your young career. Who's been the guy that you've loved to be in the ring with the most, pushing you? Who's been someone that's really helped you develop to the star that you are now?
Well, we have a couple of the guys at TNA that are able to do that. Samoa Joe, if you ever had the chance to see this guy, he's a big Samoan, and he's a 300-pound guy, but he flies through the ropes like some little cruiserweight, and it's really frustrating for someone that big to be able to do the things that he does. Jerry Lynn, when I first started, he really helped me out with just a lot of stuff, man, and being able to learn from guys like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan,
Well, I bet you're Hogan.
Well, I
remember that part about this.
I'm talking about maybe Hollywood or something. we talk about advice and learning from these guys. The best advice that I asked Rick, man, what do you think about this? And he said, I don't think about it. Just get out there and do it.
I don't think about it.
I'm not getting paid to think. They haven't paid me that much money.
That's right. So
I can participate and I can entertain, but I'm not thinking for them yet.
I do like you, and you've got the Flair robe, but you've added the hood, and you got the whole. You've taken it to the next level.
I gave the robe a little bit more style. No offense, just goes with my last name. But hey, you know what?
He's pretty good already.
Yeah, he's learning. Yeah,
that robe's awesome.
That was very Bobby Heenan-ish.
Yeah, it's a good look. But tell it for our listeners about your opponent on Sunday.
There's not much to tell about him. The guy's a great athlete. There's no doubt about that. He's another star coming through the TNA roster and thinks he has a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight title. The fact is that he really doesn't. I'm phenomenal for a reason. I get the job done. I'm cashing checks and breaking necks. It's just what I do. I'm the longest TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and nothing's going to change anytime soon.
And Rick, you've had the strap 16 times. So you've got a team. Hogan's got a team. Tell all of our listeners what they can expect in your big match.
Well, I think it's going to be, it's basically a version of the War Games, which I was the expert at. I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, I think that. And I'm not going to say anything to berate the talent on his team, but I've got Sting, and I've got 3 other guys that can really go. I mean, I just think that my team is stronger. I think that with Sting's leadership, he's the captain of the team, that will prevail. And I hope Hogan gets out in my way, man. That's the way it goes.
You had some classics with Sting over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Who would be your guys that you love to get in the ring with throughout the years? I know you always list Steamboat as one, but where would kind of your top couple be?
My favorite to wrestle against were Steamboat, Harley Race, Walter McDaniels. I like wrestling Ricky Morton. Ricky Morton was phenomenal. He reminds me a lot of A.J., except A.J.'s bigger and more muscular, but a lot of athletic ability. I love wrestling Brody. I wrestled Brody here a bunch of times. It was a lot to handle with physically, but it was a great, it was a rush wrestling a guy like him. And of course, I love wrestling Hunter and Shawn Michaels. I mean, Undertaker. The whole list of guys. It's hard to pick on. Kurt Angle. I love wrestling Kurt. I mean, Kurt is a unbelievable physical specimen and an unbelievable technician. I mean, and not to mention the fact he won a gold medal.
Yeah. He
could probably be, in ultimate fighting and be just as good as that. I mean, they've asked him, they've begged him, but he's got that ongoing neck injury that, I think kept him out of that. But Kurt's a real bad dude.
Who was the guy that you wanted no part of in the ring because they were so bad? Like dangerously bad?
Oh, God, the list is endless there, too. I can't just pick one.
What about the Ultimate Warrior? You've always had some funny, critical things to say about that guy. I mean, we've played some stuff from time to time. People talk about how dangerous he was.
Well, he wasn't. He couldn't break
Like-
it. He couldn't break an egg. It wasn't about being dangerous.
Well, just no respect for the opponent in the ring. Like,
Yeah,
just
and,
didn't.
and I think truly the saddest thing about it was he made so much money, but really had no respect for the business. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, a couple of guys are like that, but I mean, I don't begrudge that. When I was actively competing, you know, I didn't appreciate that. Because I think, you know, when I go in the ring, I'm all business, and all I'm thinking about is proving to the people that are paying money to see me, or through TV or pay-per-view, whether I won or lost, I gave them the best and entertained them better than anybody else on the card. That was my whole thought process. And back in that time frame, we were loaded. So if you were on last, man, you had to really jack it up. And it was. We had so the undercards. You could have the Road Warriors against the Four Horsemen. You could have Rock and Roll Express against Midnight Express. I mean, the shows were phenomenal. We were loaded, as was WWF, WWE, you know, now. In the '80s, it was a huge amount of talent in both companies.
Is there one match here that you'll never forget in St. Louis?
Well, I think probably Sam's. The one that people remember the most was Sam's retirement when I wrestled Dusty in 1983. We did 19,000 plus at the Checkerdome. But when I wrestled Brody here for Japanese TV, Bob brought his film crew over. That was a long night for the Nature Boy. Brody was a big star in Japan. So I wrestled him for an hour, so it was great. I mean, I never had a bad night here, either in the ring or socially.
For TNA Lockdown, it's coming this Sunday to St. Louis, a Family Arena in St. Charles. You can go to MetroTix.com, the Family Arena box office, for the unbelievable pay-per-view, their big event of the year. Watch AJ Styles, Hulk Hogan, Sting, Ric Flair, and more at the Family Arena. And then to meet all the superstars of TNA, you can go to ShopTNA.com or just to the Ameristar Casino coming up on Saturday, tomorrow. Their Fan Fest from 9 to 5. You can meet AJ Styles, a number of the other superstars. He mentioned Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, Jeff Jarrett, a number of their big superstars. And then you can meet Sting, Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair between 6 and 8 o'clock. And again, more information, shoptna.com or at the Ameristar Casino. AJ, one of the big topics that we've had here, and you know, it seems to come up unfortunately every couple of months, is, you know, an older wrestler will pass away or something will happen. But we talk about it now in baseball with steroids. Mark McGwire, all the people that have trouble in the professional sports that we cover on a daily basis. It is such a big issue now. You know, you have organizations doing wellness programs and things like that, but it's come to the forefront because of some of the bad things. It's so important for you guys now to, you know, obviously you're on the road so many days a year, but at the same time do things right. It's a huge issue now in wrestling, one that used to get swept under the rug.
Well, you know, it's a lot different than, you know, when Rick was traveling the roads. At least we get to fly in planes most of the time and stuff like that. So we're able to take care of our bodies a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, find gyms. You know, eat healthier. You know, there's all kinds of protein bars, all kinds. You know, we can actually drive to a store and have a nice meal where it's healthy for us. So I think we take care of our bodies and we don't get involved in any other kind of stuff. I mean, it's just totally changed. You know, these guys work so hard.
Are you saying you don't eat pickled eggs and beef jerky and drink 20 beers a night, drive a 500-mile trip? Are you kidding me? That was fun.
I'm surprised that you remember doing it.
Not vividly, but
That's a hard life, buddy.
But you know, Rick, I was watching some video with you, and just like when you were running around with like Kurt Hennig and guys that should still be here, it's just a shame.
yeah, I just, you know, that's a tough thing to talk about,
Yeah.
but I just was able to make the right choices. There's no lying about the fact that I like to have a drink once in a while. That's pretty well known, but that's the extent of it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that as long as you work out hard and, you know, and back then, keep in mind, I was wrestling 200 hours, and you know, sometimes one year I wrestled 320-hour Broadways.
Oh.
We call it an hour match at Broadway, but you know, 200 hours a year, I could eat and drink anything I wanted, and I did, you know. But you know, I just was able to avoid the other things that, you know, cause issues for people.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think sometimes wrestling gets we're like the redheaded stepchild of any kind of entertainment or sports, and so a lot of blame goes on us, no matter, you know, what's happening. 'Cause
Exactly.
There's certainly a lot of bad stuff that's happened in wrestling, but you know, it's also happened in Hollywood. But they don't seem to get the same
Well,
disrespect.
it's happened in sports, period. Let's face it. I mean,
Oh yeah.